the Porsche representative, they responded to the suit saying the case clearly established that this tragic crash resulted from reckless driving and excessive speed. So why does your client, why does Meadow Walker believe otherwise?
Well, first of all, Porsche was out here trying to co-opt the sheriff's department on the speed. They've already filed motions to dismiss, which they've lost. And the judge found there's more than enough to show that to go to a jury as to the 3 separate areas where Porsche had a design defect with that car. This car was a ticking time bomb, unfortunately exploded. It never should have been on the street. And frankly, it's somewhat ironic that Paul Walker's lawsuit comes, a week on the heels of Volkswagen, the parent company of Porsche, admitting that they've kind of ginned up phony tests here and engaged in a criminal conspiracy. This is a corporation that has a history and now is going to have a future of battling these things out in court.
Peter, I want you to weigh in on that as someone who covers the automotive industry for us and what, Mark was just saying. And also this, saying that the suit says the doors on the Porsche use, quote, side door reinforcement bars that lacked adequate weld and consisted of material weaker in strength than what is used in popular mass market cars. Can you just put all that in perspective for me? Explain that.
Sure. Okay, well, this was an extreme performance car, over 600 horsepower with a real emphasis on lightweight. I'm not going to claim to know the specific engineering of the doors. I'll take their word on that. It wouldn't be hard to believe that they would want to save some weight there. There were also one of the big questions. This car, it is true, had a reputation for being difficult to control. It was a car that was known. I've known a number of people who've driven Carrera GTs who were even better drivers than I am and who said it was a kind of a scary car to drive in terms of control. One big question is why did it have electronic stability control? Other cars in that class did, other Porsches did. Why did this one not have that feature? So there are some legitimate questions here, not saying that Porsche is necessarily in the wrong here, but there are some legitimate questions that could be asked.
You're hearing all of this, Sonny. I mean, what's your perspective?
I think if anyone can win a case like this, it's my good friend Mark Garagos, right? I mean, he can take an unwinnable case and win it. But the bottom line is, in order to prove that Porsche is responsible for Paul Walker's death, and let's face it, this was a beautiful, young, vibrant, talented young man, and his death is certainly a tragedy. But the plaintiffs would have to prove that the car caused his death. And we know that someone else was driving the car, and we know that he was driving the car 80 to 93 miles per hour, Brooke, in a 45 mile per hour lane. That tells me that at the very least, the driver, who by the way was an experienced race car driver, bears some blame in this. In order to prove that the Porsche was to blame, you've got to almost prove that Porsche and the car was 100% to blame. And I think that's going to be, quite frankly, very, very difficult, because if you're going 93 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour lane, you're negligent.
Mark, jump in. I want you to respond to that.
Yeah, except we've got experts who've already been out there, who were out there actually at the time in real time, who have said there's no way that they were going 93 miles an hour, that it was most probably comes in at 55 to 71 miles per hour. The fact that Roger was an experienced driver, I think, cuts against Porsche. And there was a massive, massive failure in 2 spots on this car, and the experts have seen it. And by the way, we hired some of the foremost automotive experts in the world to come out and take a look at this. They gave their report, and their report is attached to the CHP report, and they come to the same conclusion that we have, which is basically that there was a catastrophic failure on behalf of the Porsche, and it was as a result of the design defect.